Saying himself, he'll be the first guest on here tonight. Good evening, RJ's one. Good evening to everybody here tonight. Always want to be as friendly as possible to the chat. Keep you guys entertained as much as possible. Shout out to Justice5 Carmine. Yo, good to see you too, my friend. But yeah, so our first guest, saying from EsportsGG, obviously one of the biggest, I guess, surprises coming out of MLG New Orleans, which was huge. Big shout out to Nimbus, big shout out to the squad. I'm actually going to be having Tidy on the show. He just contacted me last second, so I'll probably be able to get him in here in between their scrims. So that's awesome to hear from a player himself from Nimbus. They obviously placed top 12. Not what many people expected, but they did come out of the gate hot, and they did their thing. So I'm happy to have him here tonight. Followed by pro players from ElevateGG. You guys all know them. Firearm himself and Pedro Nunez, also known as Zenan, both placing top 6 this event. Played outstanding, played really well to the hype that they brought to the game. I'm going to have the two of them on here to kind of talk about the event, their experience, and also to get a little trash talk in there. Because obviously, as we all know from this past event, trash talk is what Gears of War strives off of, as much as some people want to believe it and some people don't want to believe it. Then we're going to be following that up with the biggest winners and losers of MLG New Orleans EsportsGears event, which is huge. That happens to be probably the biggest segment of tonight. That's also going to kind of go hand in hand with my prediction of Xcells coming out of suspension and going to Ghost Gaming. So I'll be able to put all those together and kind of go in detail with my personal insight on the situation of Xcells, as well as Ghost Gaming, as well as all the other teams that are currently going to be part of that roster mania. Because as we all know, after a major event, there's always going to be roster changes. You pretty much can't avoid it. That's just the way it goes. That's the way the cookie crumbles, unfortunately. And then lastly, we're going to be talking about my special guest that's already been confirmed for next week's episode, which I thought was pretty cool. So you guys will be able to hear firsthand tonight who my special guest is going to be next week. Good friend of mine, very knowledgeable, and great to have him on the show next week. So we'll touch base on that as well. And then lastly, my Big Esports Gig announcement. I'm extremely excited. It's going to be happening this weekend on Saturday. I'm going to be on camera live in front of all the fans, in front of you people, live. So I'm excited to talk about that at the end of the show. Before we get continued, Reaper, good to see you. Leap, good to see you. My good man, always showing support. Canny, aka Noah. Gang shit out here, baby. Gang shit. You already know. It's too easy. GMO, Proceed, good to see you, brother. Congrats at top 12. I know you guys will be in that top 8 next event. So it's good to see each and every one of you tonight. Thank you guys for being here. And why don't we get this show started? You know what I mean? You guys don't want to hear me talk the whole time. So let me go ahead and try to get Sayan and Tidy in here. Hopefully they're both ready. Hydra, good to see you, my brother. Let me go ahead and call Danny. That is Sayan, the owner of Nimbus. Let me go ahead and call him first. See if I could get him in here real quick. Ooh, let me tone that down a little bit. Paulo, how's it going? Oh, that's old. Oh, he's choking for the bread. This always happens. It's like every week it's up and down. You get guests that show up, and then you get guests that don't show up. You know, it's killing me. It's really killing me. Saying, if you're hearing this right now, you're killing me. Let me go ahead and try to call Tidy. My man, look at that picture. Tidy. Hello? Tidy? Are you there? Can you hear me? Okay, 1 sec. All right, good. Just making sure. You're making me nervous. Remember this, guys? God plays to GG. I had to throw that in there. It was still on the screen. Of course, I was right, as usual. But yeah, let me go ahead and put that away. That's old. Entertaining though, still to look at it. So we're just waiting for Tidy, guys. This is Tidy again, one of the players from Nimbus himself. Demise, thank you for the follow, my friend. Everybody else that has already followed me, I appreciate you. Rain George, thank you for the follow. Demise FL, thank you for the follow. Thank you all for being here tonight. It's much appreciated.
You hear me?
Yeah, Tidy, what's
All right,
happening?
what's up? How's it going?
How's it going? How's
Very
everything?
good. Hold on one second. It's just thing. There's hold on. All right, what's up? I'm here. Sorry. How's it going?
It's going good, man. It's good to hear from you. I know coming off a top 12 finish at this event, I'm sure you are extremely excited. I know some of your teammates are already in the chat. So going right into it, Tidy, like I said, guys, he played for Nimbus GG. They placed top 12. Honestly, could have easily placed top 8. Simple mistakes that anybody can make. Myself has made that before. So I loved what I saw, and I'm sure it's going to continue. So Tidy, just go ahead and to start it off, go ahead and tell me a little bit about your experience with MLG New Orleans.
Well, first, like going into it, we started off like my team actually wanted to compete at Las Vegas, and we were actually under an org. It was like Rose Esports, and they were telling us all this stuff how they were gonna be at the event. They're gonna have all our flights paid for, and then last minute they like turned us down. And me and Jeff, being like the older people out of our team, we like kind of wanted to quit. Like we felt like that failure that like we couldn't do it. And so we actually found another org, Nimbus. Danny actually hit off up force, and he was saying like hey, I want to pick up a team, and I feel like Forrest can pick 4 people that he will like love the team with. So we ended up signing with Nimbus, and he flew us out obviously to NOLA and just came to play.
Nice. Well, that's obviously the start of a great story that you guys had going into New Orleans. Now, I know that was a pretty rocky road, and I know, again, you guys came into New Orleans, you guys came out hot, you guys played extremely well. Now, tell me, going into this event, obviously, not everybody, including myself, to be honest, didn't predict you in the top 8. Does that ever take a factor as a player going into an event? Do you ever pay attention to predictions, or it's kind of like, let me get there, let me worry about game day, everything else doesn't matter?
Honestly, it kind of just like fueled the fire for us. I mean, we knew we were a young team, and like I know people aren't gonna like, since it's our first event as a full team, and first for Toady and Demise, that's their first event ever. And yeah, I mean, it basically just fueled the fire for us. I mean, we just came in there like we knew we have probably one of the best shotgun teams in the game, and we just came in there like just straight head down and everything, just not worrying about whatever anyone else says. And like I feel the match against Optic made us like 150 times better team. Like we literally had confidence against any team after that, and even before that. I mean, open bracket teams is kind of easy for us, but because we actually play open bracket teams like all the time, we don't really get to practice against pro teams because obviously they ego us or whatever. But I mean, we just came in there thinking we are a lot better than most of the teams, and we kind of showed it.
Absolutely. I think you guys showed it, and even more than that. Like you said, after playing a team like Optic and playing as well as you guys did, I think any team going forward would come off as an easier opponent, obviously, because you have Optic, that roster, they place first, and you guys showed an outstanding performance against them. Now, going back a little bit, Tidy, just for everybody else that's new to the whole Gears thing. What was it about Gears of War that made you get into it, starting at the beginning of your career?
I have to say, like my brother, he started off with playing Gears of War 1, and like I have 3 brothers. I'm the youngest one, and like watching them play like made me like actually get into it. And my oldest brother used to play Gears of War 1, so I used to like kind of like sneak into his room. I never really had an Xbox, so I would like sneak into his room, play a little Gears. He'd kick me off, and then as soon as I got older, I ended up getting my own Xbox, and then I started playing Gears 2, Gears 3. Gears 3 is where like I actually started like falling in love with the game. Like I just literally kept playing it, playing it, playing it. That's when I actually learned Claw. I actually went to a plug match, and I found players to play with, and they actually told me what Claw was. So I figured out how to play Claw, and as soon as I learned how to play Claw, it was over from there. After Gears 3, then Judgment was a little turned down away from me, but then I went to UE, which was like my peak of Gal, like starting up, and then now we're in Gal 4.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the road, and like you said, claw is a big thing. I know a bunch of players that play claw in a good way. One of my good teammates, Immortal Spawn, obviously you know him. Everybody in here probably knows him. He's a claw player, and it really does give you an advantage. The only thing I can talk about claw is I actually switched up to claw when I use my pistol. I don't know how that happened, but it just happened. Now,
Yeah.
I know that was an advantage for you. I know a lot of people know about it. Some people don't know about it, but regardless of that, obviously you're here now. You're doing well. Going into New Orleans after you guys placed top 12, I'm sure you guys had discussions there. What is your plan as a team or as an individual going into San Diego? Obviously, it's the end of September, so you do have a decent amount of time. Are there any personal goals, team goals that you guys have going into the next event?
Yeah, I would say like personal goals. I'd be like in the beginning, I kind of was like a little shaky. Like I feel like I just had to find like where my confidence level was, and I just kind of reflected on myself. Like after event, I feel like my rotations were a little bit slower. I felt like if my rotations are a little bit faster, like we could have actually like closed out some rounds and closed out some games. I feel like I said, I think the game against the United. I think we came out like just straight really hot, and then on foundation, like I kind of felt like we just weren't like playing our game and flying at people. So I kind of felt like just the energy level wasn't there. So I think I'll come more energy next time. And as a goal for like San Diego, I'm thinking third or fourth, but I definitely think that like Optic is obviously the team to beat, and I actually really think we can beat them if we're all just shooting at all our like at our top level. And I feel like we showed it at NOLA. Like I think if we close out that 5-1 lead, I really do feel like people would believe in our team as the way we do with our team.
Absolutely, and I have to agree with that 100%. You guys, the way you played, obviously, is just the beginning of something better to come. Optic Gaming, obviously, in my personal opinion as well, is the team to beat. You guys played them. You guys know what it takes. They're obviously not unbeatable. They've been beaten before. With time, with effort, I'm sure with experience, with you guys playing as a unit, like again, you're all younger players in a good way. You all have unlimited potential as we speak. So I think going to San Diego, I could definitely see you guys breaking that top 8 without a sweat. Obviously, you guys hit top 12 this event. The other interesting thing about your guys' team that most people don't know is that 2 of the players have never been to a major LAN event. Now, can you tell us a little bit about them? And in your personal opinion, what does that mean to you? Say this was your first major event. What would the impression be on your 2 teammates that went into this event?
Okay, so some background about Toady. That's one person actually. This is his first event, and back in UE, like I actually got known with him. He was like literally my duo in UE, and me and him just always we would yell at each other. We would do good things with each other. Like we would beat people, and it's cool that like he got to his first LAN. He was actually supposed to go with us to Atlantic City back in season 1, but unfortunately his flight like got canceled. So he actually was gonna go, but yeah, this is his first time actually going. So it's glad to like have Toady there as like a support player and like a slayer whenever we need him. So it's cool to have him. And on Demise's part, like literally like everyone knows that he probably has one of the best moves in the game and shotguns because he plays on alternate. And it was cool having him to go to his first event and like having a crowd like cheering him on, like keep it like making him like feel like very comfortable. And it was cool that we were be able to like go to an event with them. And I'm glad that I was his first team to go to his first event.
Absolutely, and that's again another interesting story and a great thing to have, especially 2 teammates. You guys come out, place top 12. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. Obviously, everybody, including myself, would love top 8. That's the end goal, to get that pro status, to get into the money, which you guys did. But I think it was great results for your guys' first event as a team. Obviously, attending New Orleans. Tidy, before I let you go, was there anything else that you wanted to maybe mention about yourself, your team, or anything in the future going on?
I would just like to say, like, in San Diego, we're literally coming for everybody. Like, it's literally that simple. I feel like we have what it takes. I feel like maybe if we get a couple more scrims against top teams to prepare us for next event, that'll even help us more. But if they don't want to scrim us, that's still fine with us. Like, we'll still make it happen either one way or another. That's kind of how I feel about it. And yeah, you literally should see our name down, keep going down that list every event.
Absolutely, and you shouldn't think about it any other way. I love the confidence. I wish you guys the best. I'm sure we'll be talking prior to the event. But Tidy, that's all I have for you tonight. Good luck. I know you guys are scrimming. Proceed was letting me know about that. But Tidy, I wish you guys the best of luck, and thank you for coming.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me, buddy.
Take care, man.
We'll see you.
Alrighty. So that was Tidy. Obviously, guys, I'm going to go ahead and try to get Zenan now, just to give you guys a different perspective from the gaming world, especially EsportsGears. And let me see if Zenan is available. Again, guys, Zenan is Danny. Danny is the owner and CEO of the team that Tidy, the guy who I was just speaking with, the owner of the team that he plays for. So let me go ahead and call Danny one more time before I move on. Hopefully, Danny, you're ready this time. Love to have you on here. I always love to get the business side of things. Shout out to Oh, there we go.
Hey, how's it going, Gabe?
Danny, how's it going?
It's going good, man. Sorry I couldn't connect earlier. I was having some technical issues, man.
Hey, it happens. I've had them before. But it's good to have you here. So, guys, luckily, this is Danny, like I said, the owner and CEO of Nimbus. Danny, in a short way, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, everybody. How's it going? The owner of Nimbus, as you could tell. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. And thank you, Gabe, for having me on the show, man. It's an honor. I'm actually a huge fan, man. Before I started the org or even thought about gathering a Gears of War team, I used to tune into your channel. So, I mean, it feels good to be here tonight.
Absolutely, and I've always seen your name, which I appreciate and I love, and it's always good to have viewers on the show. And now, obviously, you have a big thing going on for you. Nimbus, placing top 12. Huge thing for yourself, huge thing for the team, huge thing for the org. Obviously, Tidy, you hear how confident he is, which is always good to have, especially since he's, representing you guys. That's your brand. So, Danny, first question I had for you going into this. What made you get into Gears? Was it, something that you enjoyed yourself? Was it something that you started seeing the waves, continuously building with season 2? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, what made me get into Gears to start off right now? Well, when I was younger in high school in Niagara Center, I used to play basketball with some friends, and one of my friends, Carlos, we went back to his house to play some basketball outside, and afterwards, we hung out inside his house, and he had an Xbox. And he happened to have Gears of War 1 at the time. So, he started the campaign. It was a scene where Marcus is, getting released from jail. And, I played it for a couple minutes, man, and I thought it was very interesting. I loved the graphics, and I just fell in love with everything about the game, man. And after that, I've been a fan ever since. I've been playing Gears of War 2. I've always tried to compete, so it's a lot of fun, man. That's exactly what got me into it.
Absolutely. I think Gears of War is probably the most exciting console game as we speak. Obviously, there's other PC games, other console games, but there's nothing like Gears of War. There's nothing like a more satisfying kill or a headshot. Obviously, you've been playing since back in the day. You know the deal when you get a headshot in this game.
Yeah, you can't compete the game, man. It's definitely I think it's in my opinion, it's the best multiplayer game that you can compete in. It's the most competitive one for me. So it's definitely I have a passion for it as well. So, as time went on, I got a little older and I figured, hey, what? I might not go pro anymore. I've always dreamt about going pro. So I figured out the next big step for me was going to be to build my own team and give the youth opportunity to compete professionally. So that's exactly what got me into, searching into a Gears team. And I found Force was the first player that caught my eye. And, I heard a lot of good things about him. I analyzed him a bit. I studied him a bit. And, I saw his raw skill. So when I see a raw player like that, I trust his instincts. So I figured, if he has any goons, as you guys say, that roll with him, that are just as good as him, I put the trust into him and I gave the guys a shot. I told them, hey, you know what? I picked them up, maybe a month and a half before the event. So it was a little bit too close to the actual NOLA event. So I was indecisive at the time. I didn't know whether I should send them out or not, or maybe test them out a bit. So I told them, hey, guys, I want to send you guys out, but you guys have to, show me that you're determined enough to start scrimming, put the time and effort into it. So I told them, hey, I don't want you missing any days. And yeah, they were scrimming every single day. I saw how good they were. They were very dominant, and I gave them the opportunity to fly them out. I figured it was a good chance for them to grow.
And it obviously paid off. That whole story, in the end of it, everything paid off. Obviously, Nimbus is now on the board. Top 12, that's a big deal, especially now there's really not that many orgs out there. So the fact that you put your name out there, Danny, is huge.
Yeah, it's a big opportunity for us, man. I'm happy as an org owner, and I'm happy for the team. You know, I want them to build a career off of this. You know, I want to build opportunities for them just as much as they're building opportunities for myself. You know, my overall goal to send them out this time was for them to gain experience as a team. As far as Tidy, Force, and Proceed and Demise, they're very close to each other. They have a strong bond. But I brought Tidy into the picture. You know, he was kind of an outsider at the moment. And I wanted to fly him out so they could build some chemistry together, especially in the LAN event. And that's exactly what they did, man. And overall, they exceeded the goal and my expectations. I knew they were capable of achieving the success, but I mean, I never expected it to be so soon.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think the turnover that you guys had, or that you had from the roster that you put together from the scouting that you did, I don't think it was expected. Like I told Tidy, obviously I saw you guys, I saw them doing well online, but from my personal experience, it's really hard for a team like this to really break through. And the fact that they did break through, and not only did they place top 16, they placed top 12. They got into the money. So obviously, Danny, as an org owner, how did you feel about that?
Honestly, I felt nervous, man. Like watching them, like spectating them on the event. Like to be honest with you, most of the time, I kept myself busy. I rather, just kind of tune in and out every once in a while, see how they were doing. And I was a little nervous seeing them on there competing, man. But I mean, they pulled through. They definitely showed up. It feels great. I feel very proud of them. And, one thing when I brought them into the org, I told them, I want them to feel like family. I want them to feel like at home. I want them to know, I want them to feel comfortable and just focus on the overall goal, which is, practicing, getting better. I want them to practice on the game. That's my goal, like for them to stay focused. But yeah, it feels good, man. I can't lie. It's good. And I'm hoping everything will just keep going on, man. Keep getting better and better. I definitely think they have a lot more to prove.
Absolutely. With time, with chemistry, with the continuous support from you guys, obviously that's always huge, especially for players. I think you guys are destined for top 8 next event. That's easy. Like Tidy said, top 4. So Danny, I wanted to ask you, because I also asked Tidy that, what is your goal personally, or as a team, as an org owner, which way you want to take it, going into San Diego? What are your goal?
My goal is to take everything that we experienced at NOLA and bring it towards this next event. I mean, I know the guys that built that chemistry and that bond together, but I know definitely that they built confidence. So I want them to take that same confidence that they had from NOLA and put it in from the very beginning. I want them to just go in there knowing that they could dominate anyone. I want them to know that the competition is Optic. That's my main focus right now. I told them, hey, you know what? You guys have to practice on how you could beat Optic. If you could beat Optic, you could beat any other team. So for me, I want to take whatever we got from this event and bring it on to the next event with extra practice, extra scrims. We're going to go in there ready and prepared this time. This time we went in with like a month and a half of practice. From day one we got back, we're already on it. We're grinding. So, everybody better be ready for us.
Absolutely, and you couldn't have said it any better when it comes to, if you could beat Optic, you could beat anybody. I agree with that statement 100%. So Danny, to close it out, before I let you go, is there anything else that you had to say about yourself, your team, your org, San Diego, anything else before I let you go?
I just want to thank everybody for the support and for believing in us. It feels good to see people supporting a whole new team that's coming out. I know it's out of the blue, but we're getting major support, and it definitely is like, motivating us and, pushing us to move forward. And I just want to let everybody know, my team is there to stay. Our roster is locked. I'm not looking to drop anybody. I'm looking to focus on what we have and improve it. So I want everybody to know that. So I want everybody to feel comfortable, everybody on my team to feel comfortable, and, we're going to come in even stronger. So that's all I had to say, and I want to thank everybody for the support, and thank you for having me on the show.
Absolutely, Danny. I thank you for coming on, as well as your player, Tidy. But that's all I have for you, Danny. Again, thank you, and I wish you the best of luck going into San Diego.
Thank you.
Take care.
Everybody.
All right, guys, so that was Danny, the owner of EsportsGG himself. He couldn't have said it any better, and I agree with that statement. If you can beat Optic Gaming, you can beat anybody at this point. And that's kind of what the game has come down to, unfortunately. And great words from an org owner. None of his players are going anywhere. Nobody is being dropped. They are locked in. I hope that's the truth. Honestly, I really do. And I like the roster. Like I said, there's unlimited potential with these 5 players. The fact that you had 2 players that never went to an event, they placed top 12, they played amazing. They have a lot more to work on, but who doesn't? We all do in parts of our life. So it's good to see that Danny is so strong-minded when it comes to himself and it comes to his team. Now, for the next segment of the show, it's going to get a little rowdy. You guys know these two. He goes by the name of Firearm, and he goes by the name of Pedro Nunez, aka Zenan. I want to be bringing them both on at the same time to talk about their Gears of War New Orleans experience, their team, San Diego, all that kinds of nonsense. So if you guys have any questions, concerns, comments, I don't really care. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm being nice. But if you have any questions for any of these guests on the show, guys, go ahead and put them in the chat, or you can DM me on Twitter at Njcubano. But without further ado, let me go ahead and call Kevin, aka Firearm, and Pedro, aka Zenan, so that the show can finally start. Yo.
Yo.
What's happening?
What up? You hear me good?
Yeah, I hear you. You're good. Let me go ahead and get Pedro on here. Hey, there he is. The man himself has arrived. Guys, that is Firearm on the right of the screen, and now we're calling in Zenan, Pedro himself. So until Pedro kind of figures this situation out, we'll go ahead and we'll start with Kevin. So Firearm, Kevin, whatever it is, how you feeling? How you feeling, brother? Top six, huge. You guys came out, you did your thing. Tell me a little bit about that, Kev.
Honestly, it's not the placing we wanted or expected. We did have a lot of, doubters going into this event, so that was just motivating us to prove them wrong. I still feel like I'm in the same position I was before I went into that tournament, because top 6 placing is something I've done before. My brother Pedro has done that a few times already. It's something we're used to, or we don't really want to keep getting that same result. So it was a little, disappointing, but we're going to keep grinding from here on out.
Absolutely, and I completely agree with you on that. Obviously, it's always not the end goal, I guess, to get top 6. It's always, first or nothing. But regardless, you guys played amazing. I know you really were big on this tournament coming into it. Obviously, people underestimated you, as always. I never got it, never will. As well as Zenan. Zenan is in the same category. I'm a huge supporter of you two, you know that. But top 6, obviously, San Diego's up next. What can you do personally, Kevin, going into the next event? A personal goal or something that you can do to better yourself going into the next event?
Honestly, the number one thing that comes to mind is just the time and the hard work that we got to put in, because going into this event, we didn't have a lot of scrim time. And also, believe it or not, we had a lot of top teams not wanting to scrim us. So it's kind of hard for us to get scrimmed. We were being called catfish. So it was kind of annoying. So hopefully now, we're going to have better preparation. We're going to have more time to go over the little things like the basics, call-outs, whatever the case is, just so we make sure we have everything down packed.
Absolutely. And like you said, there's really not much else you can do besides the stuff that you already explained. Obviously, there's going to be more practice. There's going to be more meetings together as a team, as a unit. But tell me a little bit more about your experience from MLG New Orleans. I know there was big hype behind it, possibly the best event. In your eyes, tell us a little bit about the event.
New Orleans was definitely an event I'll never forget. Just even that place in general, the culture, the vibes was just amazing. It seemed pretty cool, like a lot of like jazz theme to it. So it was pretty cool, being somewhere I've never been. The environment was dope, having Halo in the same arena. That's my first time ever witnessing something like that. I've never heard of 2 different games in one venue. So that was a shocker and an amazing thing to watch, having Halo right next door to you, and then you have Gears going crazy. So it was definitely an amazing experience. I wish we could do more things like that. Definitely, I feel like it brought in more attention. We definitely broke like 60,000 views, which that's to me is unheard of for Gears. So it's a blessing, and I can't wait to see this to continue to grow.
Absolutely. Now, I keep hearing some noise. Pedro, is that you?
Yeah, I've been here.
Word, there he is. Pedro, the man is here. Zenan. All right, guys, so this is Pedro.
What's up?
Obviously,
Hey, everybody.
good to meet him. Again, another underrated player. I'm going to have to put it out there. Huge fan of you two. So, Pedro, tell us a little bit about your personal experience with the event. How was it? How was it, competing? How was New Orleans? Tell us a little bit about your background.
It was fantastic. I loved it out there. Like in the venue, I loved every moment of it. Like from the trash talk to the gameplay and the staff, everything was just perfect and great for us. Like, I just really liked it, to be honest. We went out there, we performed, did what we had to do. I just wish we did a little better because we know we can. Like we beat them in pools. Like we could have beat them for top 4 too, and then we could have kept pushing on. But other than that, it was phenomenal. I enjoyed it.
Absolutely, and that's kind of the vibe that I've been getting from everybody, in a good way, obviously. And the same question I'm going to be asking you, Pedro. Going into San Diego, obviously top 6, not what you guys wanted. Again, not bad at all, and I only say that because I feel like, if it's not top 4, if it's not first, it's still not a bad thing, though, because 1, you are a professional player, 2, you guys were in the money, and we all have room for improvement. But going into San Diego, what is a goal of yours personally that you think you can achieve before getting to San Diego?
Personally,
yes.
I just want to get better at like I'm already a good teammate. I just want to be better at everything I can do for my teammates. Like I want to be there for them in every situation possible, shooting for them, like holding their hand in situations. Like I just want to be better, no matter what it is. I just want to get better at the game, help my team get better, so that we could break into that top 3, break into that top 2. Even get in there to win it. Like that's what we're here for. We're not here to slow down. We're here to get better, progress, and do what we can do. That's my goal.
Absolutely, and there's no other better goal than that. Like you said, you want to improve, you want to get better as a player, you want to get better as a team. That's always a big thing. That's huge for yourself, for your team. Obviously, like I said already, you guys, place top 6, big deal. Obviously, next event, I definitely want to see you guys top 4. Keep the same roster, move into it. You guys will only improve as a team. Now, a question that I have for both of you. You guys can answer it, whoever wants to at first. San Diego. Now, was this a location that you guys expected? Was this something that completely threw you off? We'll start with Pedro. What were your thoughts on San Diego being the next event in September?
I was very shocked. I got super excited like instantly. Because I heard like rumors about it being AC for the next event. So like when I heard San Diego, my mind was blown. I was like, no way. Like it's a West Coast event. We don't really get many of those. It's just going to be amazing. Like, the weather, the venue's going to be great probably. Like I'm just so excited for it. It sounds like it's going to be a great time.
Yeah, San Diego happens to be a really nice area. Obviously a nice city. Not what I expected myself. I was completely lost. Kevin, your thoughts. Once you heard San Diego, what was going on?
Once I heard San Diego, I just got excited, man. I was too happy. I love California. I've been out there a few times. Definitely was a shocker. Like Pedro said, I've been hearing rumors of AC, Ohio, a lot of different places. So I'm happy to be going to the West Coast. First time for a major. I've only been out there for like a local, I believe. So I'm definitely hyped on that, and I'm ready, excited.
Of course, as a competitor, it doesn't matter where you guys are going. You just have to be ready. I think San Diego was a total shocker for most people. Obviously, I personally thought it was going to be in the East Coast because, I'm from the East Coast. Kevin's from New York. I mean, I think we were kind of banking on that.
Yeah.
But it still can happen. I know there's either 1 or 2 other events that haven't been announced, so it is possible. Now, question for you two. I didn't expect to think about it or bring it up. But rumor has it, or I've been starting rumors, that UGC will have another event, more than likely. And I'm thinking the location will be Atlantic City. Now, what's your thoughts on that, Kevin?
On AC, I mean, that's a pretty good location. I wish, do it in New York, change it up a little bit. That'd be pretty dope. But I'll be happy to go back. Just personal reasons. I feel like last time I was out there, I didn't finish off strong. So I feel like I got to make it up to myself. And yeah, if it happens, I'm in there. I'm ready.
And you can't say it any better than that. Now, Pedro, same thing for you. Atlantic City UGC event. What's your thoughts on that? If, this is just a rumor, we're just having fun with it. What are your thoughts?
If that happens, that'll be great because that's like a 2-hour to 3-hour drive for me. So like it's not even that bad. Like I would love to go back there. Last time we were out there, it was just such a fun time because we had like a whole Airbnb with like 10 people. So it was like a party every day. But like next time we go out there, if it does happen, like it's gonna be just as great as the rest of these events, and the static's always there. Teams always come. It's just gonna be amazing. I can't wait if that's a real thing.
Absolutely, and obviously I'll be dropping more information. The more credible sources I get, obviously everybody will know sooner than later when it comes to it, but that's always been a thought of my own. I know in the chat you guys were saying New York. New York is tough. New York is not just one, expensive, but two, there's so many laws when it comes to gambling, esports, all that kinds of nonsense. So that's why you haven't seen a New York event, unfortunately, Kevin. And Colin, Canada. I'm not really sure why there hasn't been a Canada event. I'm assuming because
Canada would be sick.
That would be dope. It would be dope.
There you go, Colin. You have two fans here. So Canada. If it came to Canada, where would you guys think? Toronto? I'm thinking Toronto if it ever went to Canada.
Ontario, maybe?
That too.
Either or. Toronto sounds clean. That would be lit.
Toronto's a big city. Toronto's probably the spot to do it at. I just have never heard, and I know Colin always brings it up. I just never heard any rumors or sources or anything when it comes to Canada, unfortunately. So
hopefully Strang can pull through.
Yeah, exactly. Now the last question for the two of you separately, going into it. For an event, say it's not AC, it's not New York, it's not Canada since we talked about it, but Pedro, what would be your dream location? And I always like to ask this just because everybody gives me crazy answers, but your dream location, it could be anywhere, international, domestic, a location for an event that you would love to see or play at.
Oh man, there's so many spots that I can really think of, but if we can go like anywhere, I would want to go to like Hawaii or something. Like that just sounds brolic. MLG Hawaii or UGC Hawaii, like that sounds like a dream to me. Like I want to go out there so bad, feel that weather. Like that's the spot right there.
This man said Hawaii. I'm done.
Yeah,
you know,
gotta go out the box.
You gave him the option of anything.
That's wild. That would be a crazy expensive event, so I highly doubt it ever happens, but it's a great thought. I agree with you. It's probably be beautiful. I've never been, but I'm sure it'd be a great spot. So to follow that up, Kevin, your dream location, and it could be wild like Hawaii. It could be something intense, but what would your dream location? Obviously, it probably would never happen, but if you had the choice.
I'm not going to lie. I was like before, I guess I would have been saying Cali, but we're going to have an event in San Diego, so that's already like one great thing. I don't know, to be honest. Miami, Florida.
I've gone that often. I've gone that often. From probably like 80% of my guests on the show is Miami, Florida, which is I think would be definitely doable. It's really not as expensive, and
yeah, exactly.
The after party would be insane. Yeah. I actually was there for my bachelor party. We had VIP seats, or tables, at Bioli, which is downtown Miami, and I could tell you, I probably don't even remember half of what happened. That's how crazy it was. So I would definitely love to see Miami. Obviously, I'm Cuban too, so I'd be going back home, or my second home from Cuba. But I think that's all I have for you guys tonight. Again, thank you, Pedro. Thank you, Kevin, for coming on here. But before I let you guys go, we'll start with Kevin. Was there anything that you wanted to say? Could be about anything before I let you go.
Anything? Nah.
Anything? No. Anything.
Nah. I just want to say, man. Honestly, I appreciate the supporters, the fans that we got from being on Elevate, the new fans we got for upsetting the ladder. All the love and support honestly means a lot because coming in, this season as new pros, everybody on my team, it's hard to get that fan base and that love because people are so used to the pros they already know and they already have their followings. So it's cool to, be getting up there, be getting pretty known. And it's honestly a blessing. And we're going to continue to put on a show. We're going to continue to represent probably one of the best organizations I've ever been a part of. We're going to be going the long way, the long route. We're going to be in this for a while. So I hope you guys are ready. And yeah, see you guys soon.
Love to hear it. Now, Pedro, you're closing it out.
All
Anything else?
Closing it out. All right. Shout out Elevate. Shout out my mom at home, my dad in Jersey. Just like shout out to fans. Like Kevin said, like we love you guys so much. I plan on streaming in the future, which I've like never done because I want to get a PC so I can do it. And like just thank you for bringing me on the show. Like I love you,
Definitely
man.
be on the lookout for the
Love your
Elevate
support.
content. Definitely
That's
be on
facts.
the lookout, guys.
Absolutely.
We're here, and we're gonna keep on pushing.
And expect at least a top 3 place in next event. At least. Bare
At
minimum
least.
top 3. If not, Optic, we're coming for that head.
Exactly.
I'm going to clip this. So when
We're here to
you
win.
when you place top 3, I'm going to send it to all of Optic.
They heard it
Have to.
here first
Heard it
You
here
heard it here
first.
first.
Let them know.
Exactly.
Let them know.
on the Cubano show.
The Cubano show. I'm so done. I'm about to change my show name. YOLO. All right, boys. Well, again, thank you guys for being here. I'm sure you guys have other things to do than sit here and talk to me tonight. But again, thank you for being here. Shout out to ElevateGG. Shout out to Pedro, Firearm, as well as your other teammates. But again, guys, thank you for being here tonight. And I'll see you soon.
See you
For
soon.
sure. Take care.
Thank you.
Take care,
Take care.
guys. All right, guys. Well, that was Pedro. That was Kevin. That was Firearm. That was Zenan. Both players from the professional esports organization themselves, ElevateGG. Both very humble guys. Both very funny, very entertaining, but most importantly, extremely skilled when it comes to the Gears of War scene. So now, guys, that's going to be it for guests for the night. But that wasn't actually the best part of the night. Now we're going to start to get into it a little bit more. It's going to get a little bit more juicy, only because I'm going to be offering my insight, my information, and my personal advice when it comes to the list of what I've created tonight, called the biggest winners and the biggest losers of MLG New Orleans EsportsGears. Now, before I get into it, guys, I want to make this clear, okay? When I say biggest losers, biggest winners, I'm talking about the team. I'm talking about their performance. I'm not talking about any players personally. I'm not here to damage anybody's reputation or slander anybody. This is purely for entertainment. This is purely for an ESPN type of situation or conversation between myself and each and every one of you that watches the show live and also pre-recorded on YouTube. Obviously, I post this on Facebook. I post this on Instagram, Snapchat, LinkedIn. So I have multiple people that watch this show and multiple people that watch it for different reasons. So again, I just wanted to put that disclosure out there. But without further ado, getting into the biggest winners of MLG New Orleans EsportsGears tournament for $250,000, we're going to start with number 1. Okay, number 1, first on my list is Echo Fox themselves. Specifically, M Powers, okay? M Powers, first event. The kid is only, I think, 16 years old. This was his first event, and he places second place, okay? Second place, okay? I repeat, M Powers' first event, and he gets second place. That's huge. I didn't even do that. You know, and I don't say that proudly. I didn't even do that at 16. I actually got top 6, actually, when I was 15. At my third event, I got top 6 or top 5, something like that, but whatever nonsense. So this was Empower's first event, and he arguably was the best player at this event, and I could say that with confidence. Not only was he the best player at the event, but he also finished second place, like I said. So Echo Fox started off slow this event, and I know a lot of people started to notice that, and everybody started to worry. But once they caught fire, they were looking like a promising first place team. Now, I know I can personally say that, you know, after a while, after I started to watch more and more, I thought Echo Fox, wow, these guys mean business. Not only is Kenny fired up, not only is Icy fired up, but M-Powers is fired up. Then you have that followed up by Kyle, and then Franchise, probably the best in-game leader currently in the game, still playing. And these 5 guys came together and were looking pretty spicy. I would say spicy is probably the best way to put it. I like what I saw on the team as a whole, and going into San Diego, I see these guys in the top 2 once again, and I say that with confidence, top 2 for Echo Fox going into San Diego. It'll take a lot to take down the new Optic squad, but nothing is impossible. You know, Optic is definitely beatable. It can happen. It may happen. It may not necessarily be Echo Fox who takes him down, but like I said, it's definitely doable to take down the juggernaut themselves called Optic Gaming. Now, moving into the second winners of my list, I have, of course, you knew I had to put it on there, Optic Gaming themselves. So Optic Gaming, with their 2 new additions in Praised and Solars, this could possibly be the best Gears team we will see, period, in the history of Gears of War. First event as a full team, and these guys looked flawless. Like butter is the way these guys were playing. The slaying power on this team, along with the in-game leader in explosives, which I guess if you really think about it and you sit back, I would probably put Explosives franchise and Xcells in the top 3 best in-game leaders as it currently stands. Even though obviously Xcells unfortunately hasn't been able to play this season, he still has that impact on any team. And Explosives is arguably number 1. So it's hard to say who can really dethrone Optic Gaming at this point in time. Unfortunately, you arguably have the top 5 best players in the game on this one team. The fact that this happened, the fact that this was allowed, the fact that we have no commissioner shutting down a move like this, adding Praised and Solars, completely blew my mind. But hey, you know what? It is esports, and it's a learning environment, so obviously they can do whatever they want, and I'm glad they did. I was a huge supporter of this move, and a huge supporter of Optic Gaming since Season 1 I was, so it's not something that I just joined the bandwagon like most people do, especially since, you know, they won last event. Now everybody's back to being an Optic supporter. I love the Optic squad. Praised and Solars, completely humble guys, to be honest, and Mental completely shocks me. Super humble. You know, probably the best player in the game, Mental, and Billy has grown to be the best, or one of the best in the game so far. So third on my list, and lastly on my list for the obviously biggest winners of the event, is Nimbus Esports themselves. Now, like I said before earlier, 2 players attended their first major event, along with 3 other younger players, Tidy being one of them, one of my guests on the show, and they placed top 12 as a team. Now, I really hope to see this team stick it out and progress as a unit going into San Diego. My word of advice is that a coach/manager would probably be very beneficial to a young group of players such as these guys. My biggest fear for the squad is the temptation of making a move if a big named free agent hits the market. Just like real sports, NBA, Major League Baseball, NFL, you know, a team sits quietly, you know, they're like, hey, we're content with our players, and then boom. For example, you have Odell Beckham hit the free agency market. Everybody's going to make a move, and if they don't make a move, they're not the smartest. So from my personal experience, I really hope these guys stick it out. But another thing that I thought of is some of these players might also be scouted, which will also start issues internally. So my advice to them is to completely block everybody out, the negative, the positive. Obviously stick to the positive, but also depends on what the positive is. Sometimes people will say things to you to kind of lure you into possibly leaving your team, which I hope I don't see. And I have some confidence in Danny, the owner of Nimbus, and also Tidy from what they explained. And I wish them the best of luck, and I hope to see them top 8 at San Diego. Now, this is where it gets even better. And this is why I love doing my show. The show is the best way to talk about it and get the word out than going on Twitter and, you know, just typing a whole bunch. Eventually that gets boring after a while. So my biggest losers of the event, number 1, and probably the one most important one, obviously because they won the last event, is Ghost Gaming. Now, going into New Orleans, Ghost Gaming won the previous event, as we all know. The one issue I had with is that the fact that they didn't face Optic to really prove themselves as the best team at that event, regardless of placing first. It had been a topic of discussion for quite some time from my sources about moving J-Ribs. Now, I didn't necessarily agree with the information I was getting or with the move, but it made sense long-term to replace Ribs with a younger player with more slaying power, but that somebody would have to step up and take that in-game leader role that J-Ribs did so well for this Ghost Gaming squad. Now, going into New Orleans, Ribs had stepped down from the team, as we all know, unfortunately. The question everyone wants answered is, was that by choice or was it a team decision? I can answer that question and tell you that it was a team decision. The replacement, God plays himself. Former teammate of mine, you always hear about him. He is your big ticket mercenary for hire, it seems like, this season. Extremely flashy player with great skill that hasn't fully developed. The result was a 4th place finish, which isn't that bad, to be honest, if you think about it. But after winning an event and making a roster change, it looks really bad on you. My suggestion for Ghost Gaming is to, one, either stick it out with their current roster and work on their mistakes, or replace someone immediately. Now, I say someone because you just never know what's going on in the background. But I highly doubt if somebody gets moved, it's got to be God Plays. But somebody should be immediately removed. And I think... Sorry, guys. I think that person will be Xcells. I think if he is officially reinstated into the league, he goes to Ghost Gaming, without a doubt. Now, Xcells happens to be one of the very few true in-game leaders left in the game and will be an immediate impact to any team that picks him up. He was actually also supposed to be on the team, aka Ghost Gaming, at the beginning of the season before his suspension became official. Now, I know there's been a lot of talks going around about Xcells being, taken off the ban list, staying on the ban list. I know Fatal Strike has been pretty proactive about it, explaining the situation and who's involved with it. It's unfortunate to see that Xcells has been held for so long. I personally don't know what was said, what was done. Neither does it matter. The guy has been sitting for a little over a year now, so I think everybody deserves a second chance. Especially, it really depends on the circumstances, and I think he probably learned, from this, sitting out for a while. It truly hurts a very strong competitor such as Xcells. So I definitely see Xcells going to Ghost Gaming if he is officially reinstated, replacing God Plays, making God Plays once again a big ticket mercenary for hire on the free agency market. That's all for Ghost Gaming. That is it. And guys, I don't really want to explain too much about why Xcells was, banned. It's not my place to explain his situation or the situation that occurred. Again, and I also don't know too much about it. Regardless, I hope he gets unbanned. I hope he gets a second chance at competing. And I would say that for anybody. I make no enemies. So I really wish he gets a chance to do so. So second on my list, going into the next topic, is Simplicity. Second losers of the event. Simplicity, a team stacked with proven pro players such as DeFazio, Soto, Toy Soldier, Eternity, and Jerpy. This was a team I had placing 7th to 8th going into New Orleans. The team sounded great on paper, especially with the latest addition of Jerpy to this roster. Arguably one of the most underrated Gears players in the scene currently. Jerpy, I feel like, doesn't get the credit he deserves. Jerpy had an amazing event. He did extremely well after being released from E United. He joined Simplicity. The roster looked really, really good on paper. The time they had to practice and prep for New Orleans wasn't as much as needed, especially when this team was thrown together late in the game. You have Soto and Toy Soldier, both former teammates on Envious, who've won a championship before, so they have what it takes to win it all. They had their flash of greatness during the event, but it slowly came to an end, unfortunately. A top 12 finish for these guys I know is very upsetting for them, and I'm sure they had high hopes of placing top 6, or maybe even top 4, or maybe even winning the event. That's always the end goal for most teams and most players, and maybe even playing in the championship. It will be interesting to see what they do in preparation for San Diego. They are a team on my radar for a roster change going into the next event. Again, unfortunately, you hate to hear it. It's part of the game. It's part of the business. So Simplicity is second on my list for that. Now, third and last team going into the biggest losers of the event. So we've already had Ghost Gaming. We've already had Simplicity. Happens to be, and let me check my paper again, Rise Nation. So Rise Nation happens to be the third biggest losers of the event on my list. Another upset, obviously, was Rise Nation this event. A lot of people expected them to break top 8, maybe even top 6. They came out the gates hot and were looking better than I expected them to be. With veterans such as Drix leading the squad, it looked like a promising top 8 roster, especially with the young Slayers and Avexis inserting. Unfortunately, they fell short and ended up placing top 12 this event, which was not expected by many people, if any. I actually had them placing top 12 since the beginning, no offense to them, and for that reason, this team lacks leadership and also a good coach. Don't take it offensive for anybody, but those two things are huge when it comes to a team, is leadership, or a true leader, and also a really good coach who knows a lot about the game, and that's able to offer expert advice. This is a group of 5 players that, in my eyes, fulfill certain roles on the team, making them all role players with no true leader on the team, is the way I see it. I can be wrong, obviously, guys. Don't always take offense to it. But I don't really see a true leader on this team, and I feel like that's probably the main issue with Rise Nation as we speak. Of course, we will never know the true issues or issue because we aren't sitting in their scrims, we aren't listening to their conversations, we aren't on the mic knowing what's going on at the actual event. But I can for sure say that these guys are desperately in a need of a roster change to make them a better overall team. Again, that is only my personal opinion. They may never even change somebody. They may never even do anything. They may stay with the same 5 they had, which again isn't even a bad thing. That's actually a good thing. I always welcome a team sticking together. That, again, I never look down upon. But that is it for the biggest winners, the biggest losers. For everyone that was just tuning in, my biggest winners of MLG New Orleans for EsportsGears was Echo Fox at number 1, Optic Gaming at number 2, Nimbus Esports at number 3. Then we had your biggest losers, Ghost Gaming at number 1, Simplicity at number 2, and Rise Nation at number 3. Now, going into the next conversation or topic of conversation that I'm going to be speaking about, and actually have two topics that I want to hit before we get into the last big announcement, is the Gears viewership. Is it time to embrace the drama? That's kind of where I'm at with this situation, and kind of my topic of discussion is Gears viewership. Is it time to embrace the drama? So with this past event, we spiked at 60K concurrent viewers. Now, for everyone that doesn't know what 60K means, that means 60,000 concurrent viewers, which is huge for Gears of War. Completely blew it out of the water. This is something that I'm sure myself, I definitely didn't expect, and I don't think anybody expected it. I don't even think the Coalition or MLG expected it, and it happened. Gears sat at number 2 on Twitch.tv this past weekend. Is this because of gameplay? No. Is this because of the event? Absolutely not. Between the speedy of Ghost Gaming and shock drama that we all caught on video on main stage, which was broadcasted and caught live by Major League Gaming themselves, we all saw this firsthand. We all saw the drama between the two. And then to praise calling his former teammates garbage as they walked off the stage, kind of waving them goodbye, calling them garbage the whole time after defeat, is similar to something like the WWE type of dramatic act, which was always caught on camera once again. You'll have The Rock talking trash, the Stone Cold, Undertaker, all that kinds of intense nonsense that we all loved and that we all love to watch. It kind of drew our attention in. Everybody loves drama. I mean, look at Jerry Springer. Look how entertaining his show was. It wasn't necessarily the best intelligent or it was entertaining, but not the best show to watch as a whole. I feel like you lost brain cells watching something like Jerry Springer, but he did so well. Why? Because people love drama. It's the fact. I see it every day. I mean, with my profession, guys, I'm sorry. People are bored and they love drama. They love to spike entertainment. And that's something we saw this weekend. There happens to obviously be other reasons, such as family, friends, and especially fans that tune in to support their favorite teams and players, such as the juggernauts in the gaming world like Optic, Echo Fox, Ghost Gaming, and E United. So I know for a fact the matchup of Optic Gaming and Echo Fox, along with the rivalry between players on each team, helped boost those numbers in a good way. Obviously, you had Icy and Kenny on one team, and you obviously had Solars and Praise on another team. Those guys were both flip-flop in between teams. So that matchup alone, that trash talk alone, is pure drama, pure entertainment, which obviously numbers don't lie. Most importantly, the giveaways that they had on stream when it came to a capture card, came to a Gears of War themed Xbox, was also a big factor that played into the viewership, as well as the skins that they had on stream. Obviously, these events always have certain skins that they're dropping, day in and day out, every couple hours, whatever it is. So overall, it was a huge factor to the numbers. You put all that together, it definitely helped. Now, overall, it was a great thing for Gears, and it shows that these events don't necessarily need that much of physical attendance, because at the end of the day, it's just a numbers game. It always has been, it always will be. Business is business, and when business is booming, nothing else matters. So that is my little tidbit on the Gears of War viewership that we had this last event. And my personal note to whoever listens or whoever cares, embrace the drama. You have to build storylines. You have to build, Shock and Speedy. Hopefully they compete against each other next event. Obviously, keep it to a distance. No need to get in anybody's face. But let them let loose a little bit. Capture that on camera. And I promise you, the internet is a very rewarding place, just as well as a bad place in a short period of time. If you post promos like that, I promise you, you'll have great numbers once again. I know MLG and the Coalition have a brand to protect. I, of all people, will understand that probably better than most, just because there is legal issues that come into it. You are a professional organization. You do have a reputation to keep, but there's nothing wrong with having a little bit of fun, especially in competition. You know what I mean? Competition always gets heated. It always gets spicy. You see it in the NBA. We had it with Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett was one of the biggest badasses in the NBA, and you could see him, you could hear him. I went to a Nets game in Newark, New Jersey, when they were the New Jersey Nets, and I probably sat like 8 rows from court, and you heard Kevin Garnett talking trash, and he was loud, and he was vocal, and he was aggressive, but he never put his hands on anybody. So it does happen. I've seen it firsthand, and it's embraced, because you get the purest of pure competition when somebody like that is on the court and somebody like that gets others stirred up. So I completely agree with what happened. I don't necessarily like people getting into each other's faces. There's no need to put hands on anybody, guys. Keep your hands to yourself. It's all in good fun. At the end of the day, just like I was speaking to one of my teammates, at the end of the day, shake hands, GGs, whether you win, whether you lose, because at the end of the day, guys, you look bad. You look really, really bad when you're out there acting like a crazy person, and the internet will follow you. So these videos of Speedy, these videos of Praised will come out, eventually. It will be on social media. So just be careful what you do, guys. That's my personal opinion. So let's slow it down a little bit, but let's also have some fun. I hope the right people are watching this, guys. Let it happen. Just keep it to a limitation. Everybody separate. Nobody get into each other's faces. Keep your hands to yourself. Hands in your pocket. When you get upset, keep your hands in your pocket, or put it in your coat jacket, just so you can feel a sense of security and you don't think of getting crazy. Because obviously we all got excited, we all got entertained when Shock got up, and he got up upset, and it happens. Honestly, it really does happen. Shock is no different than any one of us. We would probably be in the same situation. We probably would have reacted the same way. I know I wouldn't care. Speedy beat me. It's happened before. You just take your L and you just move on. That's all it is. Shout out to SRose1004. Honestly, to answer your question, Rose, I don't know why. Ross, no disrespect. I don't know why either, but that's a whole nother story. We'll not talk about that. And I should be nice. Let me be nice. Focus, Gabe. Okay, so yeah, drama, Gears of War, entertainment, Ronin. We had a big mix-up with Shock and Speedy at the event. It was caught on camera. MLG tweeted about it. And then we also had Praise calling his whole team garbage, his former team, caught on camera as well. Also great publicity. Also brought in the numbers. Kind of recap what I just spoke about. Now, moving forward, guys, obviously, I don't want to harp on that situation too much. All positivity here. I've always been positive, always remain positive. I'm the best, always been the best. Sorry, I was quoting my AC video because I really am the best. But lastly, guys, going into it, I'm not only going to speak about my last topic of the night, my Big Esports Gig announcement, that's coming up now. And then I'm also going to be talking about my next special guest that I'm going to be having on next week's episode of Gears of War RosterMania, which is going to be live, same time, same day, Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's usually after fight night. So, again, this is probably the best part for me personally. But I was contacted about a esports gig, guys. It's going to be happening this Saturday in New York. Now, it's great for me. It's a local event. Obviously, that's huge for me. Don't have to drive too much. And it's esports. I love esports. I love talking about it. I love working esports. And I love being able to, I guess, distract my mind in esports. Because obviously, it's boring, you know, for work and all that kinds of nonsense. So I'm happy to announce that I am officially going to be hosting and casting the upcoming Elite Team Gaming $5,000 guaranteed Call of Duty 4v4 event at the West Rock in Nanuet, New York on July 21st, this Saturday, coming up. Huge, 48 team local. Okay, this is an open LAN event with over 48 teams that will be in attendance officially. Team passes have been bought. Now let that think. 48 teams for a major local event. And I'm going to be hosting. I'm extremely excited. It's only about an hour drive for me. I'm going to have a friend or two coming with me, so that's also fun. They'll be able to see me live. They'll be able to see me getting deep into it and getting excited. I know I'm excited. It'll also be live streamed, guys, on twitch.tv/ETG live. So I'm excited about that. Be sure to purchase any passes to the event online at etgamleague.com. The event will be live streamed, like I said, guys. Be sure to tune in. Be sure to support your favorite teams, your favorite players, and also your favorite host, Njcubano. I'll be giving you guys a shout out if I see you there this Saturday live. We should be going live, I would say, sometime in the afternoon or early morning. They haven't really decided yet because there's just so many teams. 48 local teams. That's huge. 48 local teams. Think about it. That's more teams than MLG New Orleans. Hello? That's going to be me. I'm going to be hosting that. I'm excited about it. I know my choice for the event, and I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. I'm going to be bold. But my pick for the event to win first place is Simp from E United. Obviously, he's one of the EU cadets, if you guys haven't heard about him yet. Simp, he happens to be the #1 prospect, I think, in the Call of Duty world as we speak. He's going to be teaming up with Profizi. Profizi happens to be a Call of Duty pro player. He is from New Jersey, actually local to where I am, so it's awesome to see the two of them coming out. They're going to be playing with Pemby, also a pro player from the Call of Duty scene. These are definitely the guys to beat this coming weekend, so I'm excited to be there to see it live, obviously, and I'm excited to cast their tournament, their event, or their matches. I actually casted over, I think, every single one of their matches at Esports Open Tour, the 3-day event in Call of Duty that I actually was casting at here in New Jersey. So this will be my second time doing Call of Duty. I'm extremely excited. The Call of Duty community is very, very welcoming. I actually had multiple players, including Profizi, message me when the news got to them that I will be casting and hosting the event. That's pretty much it, guys. To answer 324 Nuts question, you into the COD scene? I'm into any scene that welcomes me, that welcomes my personality, my entertainment, and the positivity that I have to bring to the game. Honestly, everyone likes me except the Gears. Well, let me not say too much. But yeah, definitely into COD. Love COD. I played COD before. I was big into Call of Duty when I was competing in Gears of War 2. I also competed in Call of Duty. I placed top 3 twice at WCG. I had to put that out there, obviously. But that's all for me tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you all for your continued support each and every week. Obviously, guys, that's huge for me. Huge, huge, huge. I love all of you that are in here, all of you guys that speak your mind, that ask me questions, that support me. It honestly means a lot. Anybody could use that support. And it's big, honestly. It really is a big deal for me. If you haven't yet, guys, please follow the stream and myself on Twitter at Njcubano. I will see you all next week with my confirmed special guest himself, Immortal Spawn, former teammate, co-owner of Raw Talent with myself, and official observer and caster of the EsportsGears Season 2 circuit. He will be joining me to discuss his experience of MLG New Orleans and going into detail of his continued success with his gaming app that you all know. And if you haven't heard about it, or if you haven't been using it, you're slacking. 1, 2, you need to download it right now. Trickstrat, it's on Android, it's on Apple, iOS, whatever nonsense you want to call it. Trickstrat, the #1, I guess, app you could say when it comes to gaming. You can write things out, you could save them, you could send them to each other. There's not much more to say about it. It speaks for itself. So Immortal Spawn will be coming on here next week. He'll be talking about it. And I'll also be discussing his new role that he just joined on as a board member with the PA, aka Pennsylvania Esports Coalition. I know he was a huge addition to that team. I know he has a lot to talk about. This guy is very informative. He is also documented as the professor of EsportsGears. This guy is a brain. I competed with this guy for 10 years. Definitely a top 5 in-game leader. That's not a biased opinion. That's just fact. And I think that's it, guys. Again, thank you all for being here. All the familiar faces, the new faces, guys. I love each and every one of you. Even if you don't like me, or if you have a mixed opinion about me, trust me, I'm not that bad of a guy. I'm a great guy. I'm entertaining. I'm funny. I like to have a good time. I can be sarcastic at times, but I'm a truly a teddy bear. I'm a teddy bear. I'm like Ted. I'm like Ted in a suit. You guys, if you see me in person, say hello. For all the Call of Duty people that watch this live or will watch it pre-taped, because I'm going to go ahead and put this up on Twitter, be sure to say hello this weekend, Saturday, live from ETG 15, Njcubano. Large and in charge. So thank you, guys. And lastly, if I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. That's all from Njcubano. You guys have a good night. Take care.